My name's David Harvie, and I'm standing for UCU's Honorary Treasurer. The Honorary Treasurer has specific responsibility for oversight of our union's finances. This, of course, means working closely with the General Secretary, other union officers, and UCU's Head of Finance. It's not an accountant's role. UCU employs qualified finance professionals led by the Head of Finance to manage its accounts and to produce its financial statements. The role of Honorary Treasurer is to oversee these processes, to present the union's finances to relevant bodies such as Congress and National Executive Committee. Also, I'd like to make them more accessible to rank and file members and to advise on decisions that have financial implications. Employers frequently use the narrative, "there's no alternative," or they cry, "financial crisis," in order to justify redundancies or their general undervaluing of staff, and also students. Forensic analysis of their accounts can debunk these myths. That's exactly what I did at University of Leicester in 2016, and what I can help to do for all UCU branches. In 2016, the Financial Action Group I convened discovered that the Finance Director, Martin Riddleston, now at Bangor, had used an existing accounting category, contingent liabilities, in an entirely unorthodox way. He'd essentially magicked an additional £5 million into the university's debit side of its ledger. By exposing this, we delegitimised their rationale and helped save many jobs. A few years later, again a group I was part of, our forensic reading of University Council minutes and of the late published accounts revealed auditors' doubts whether the university was a going concern. Such forensic accounting requires patience, expertise, and experience. But I'm convinced many of our members have these attributes and could be persuaded to do this work alongside me and others. Of course, members should be paid for their time if necessary, and this is especially important when lower paid or casualised staff contribute to their union in this way. And they should be supported by more experienced comrades, such as myself, in this work. Yes, it is. How financial information is presented influences how it's interpreted and the political decisions that follow. In addition to the Honorary Treasurer's ability to influence decisions through their interpretation of our union's finances, they also have formal rights on National Executive Committee, as well as their sector committee. In my case, this would be the Higher Education Committee, the Education Committee, the Equality Committee, the Recruitment Organising and Campaigning Committee, and the Strategy and Finance Committee. This means it's important for UCU members to vote based on their judgment, not only of each candidate's competence, but also of their character and their values. That I'm financially competent matters, but so do my politics. Central to the election I'm standing in, central to the present moment we're in which 150 university UCU branches have a strike mandate and many UCU branches in further education and prison education are in dispute, or have been, or are likely to be, is the question of UCU's fighting fund. The question of how best we should utilise our financial resources in order to mobilise our members. It's important to stress that I won't be revealing any industrial secrets here. Our finances are public. The estimates and proposals that a number of UCU members have made are based on information that is also available to our employers. In a nutshell, I don't believe indefinite strike action in universities is politically sensible or a good use of our financial resources. I've written about this with Katie Fox-Hoddes, Maria Ivancheva, Sophia Lycoris, and Mark Pendleton. Mark, I hope you will vote for as LGBT+ representative in the current elections. Our funds will always be limited. There will always be alternative claims on them. and we must find the best ways to support people across our union in their respective struggles. We cannot drain all our funds on a single dispute. We know that Vice-Chancellors are dominated by hawks. They have many allies in government and in the media. I think they would try and brazen out a long strike. For us, that would destroy our union. And as I argued with Katie, Maria, Sophia and Mark, I believe that in our current universities dispute, action that escalates towards a summer marking and assessment boycott is more likely to be effective. I also believe we should be targeting student recruitment, hitting university bosses where it hurts most. Here, it's the bigger UCU branches in the wealthier institutions that should be taking the lead. As a side point, but very relevant here, our union also needs to take a very strong line on student number controls in higher education. I argued for this when I was a member of NEC, and this is something that other UCU commoners on NEC have also argued for. I want us to use UCU's finances to unlock the immense untapped wealth of UCU members and potential members. I want us to use our financial resources to build our union, both in terms of membership numbers and in terms of membership engagement. In further education, membership density is around 38%. In higher education, it's even lower, just 26%. That means more than 2/3 of employees who could be a union member are not. When we take strike action or other industrial action, our starting point is a relatively small fraction of the workforce. Even with these limitations, our actions have been effective in the past. The 2018 USS strike is the most obvious recent example. But imagine how much more powerful they could be if more people joined in. Sometimes it's true, industrial action attracts new members, but other times support for a strike falls away as it drags on. There's much that UCU's financial resources can do to engage existing members and draw in new members. Those who work in education tend to be well qualified, self-motivated, public-spirited. In the face of chronic underfunding and pervasive mismanagement, colleges and universities only function at all because of the imagination, dedication, and resilience of those of us who work in them, including members of UCU. Employers and the government need to value educators. That's what we tell them, and it's true. But so must we. If we, existing UCU activists, organisers and officers, are to draw more people into the heart of our union, we need to value them more. We need to listen to their experiences and their ideas. We need to harness their skills and expertise. We need to pay attention to their ideas, their fears, and their hopes. Using the union's resources, we can host events and commission reports that seek to understand exactly how post-16 education institutions function and which of our activities benefit students and society and which serve only the needs of principals, CEOs or VCs and the market. We know that it's our labour that makes universities and colleges work. That's why we strike. And I'm very much in favour of striking. But our disruptive activity can be more disruptive at lower cost to ourselves and to our students if it's better targeted. And that requires harnessing our members' expertise. This is just one example. What I'm saying here is that research and analysis is crucial. As I say in my election statement, we can use our reserves to beef up UCU research capacity so we can provide targeted, strategic and tactical advice in all national and local disputes. There's so much we need to change in our sectors. I don't need to read off the long list of issues. We desperately need victories, but because there's so much to change, so much to win, We need to understand winning as a process, not as a one-off event. That's why we need to build our union. That's why we need to embed deep engagement. This is absolutely not me urging patience. I'm saying we need victories now, this year, but we need to have a long-term vision too. Thus, a final area where we can harness our members' experiences, expertise, and vision concerns how we can reimagine post-16 education. As I put in my statement, as citizens, we face multiplying social, ecological, and economic crises. Our institutions could and should play a key part in society's response to these. But principals, CEOs, vice-chancellors are utterly incapable of providing the necessary leadership. If not them, then it must be us. Developing and promoting a vision of education's transformative power is socially essential. It will also infuse our struggles over pay and conditions, our livelihoods, with greater meaning and even wider legitimacy. I believe UCU should open up spaces to rethink and reimagine the roles of universities and colleges in the 21st century. Again, our union's finances can enable these spaces to be productive ones.